Hi everybody, it's time for this quick tutorial for this faux galvanized aluminum two-tiered country tray using only products from the Dollar Tree. And this is what you'll need. First, you're going to need these binder rings, black project paint, a hacksaw, this set of screwdrivers, sandpaper, this crazy glue, and this super fix-all adhesive, these two solar lights, a cake pan, a pie pan, and a pizza pan. You're also going to need a scrap piece of wood, a pliers, a hammer, a magic marker, and a ruler. So here we go. First, we're going to find center of the pan. We're going to measure the pan at its widest width and then divide that in half to find center. And we're going to mark the center in 3 different points. Turn the pan, do it again, find center, turn the pan, repeat. And then when you're all done, you're going to extend these lines. You could use a ruler for this. I'm just freehanding it. And when they all intersect, that's the center of your pan. Then you're going to pierce the center of your pan with a small Phillips screwdriver and extend each one of the lines created by the Phillips screwdriver with the flathead screwdriver to basically split the pan in an X form. And then you're going to repeat this on all 3 pans, the pie pan and the cake pan. You're going to need to make the openings wide enough to accommodate the inside stake of the solar lights because that's what you're going to use as upright supports for the tray. And I'm using my pliers here to bend back the points for the pie pan. Eventually we're going to line the pie pan points up with the pizza pan points and we're going to bend them together. But right now I'm just trying to see if I have a hole big enough. You may have to go back in with a flathead screwdriver and make your points a little bit deeper, but it's better to make them small at first and make them bigger as you need them than to make them too big in the beginning. So now we're going to bend the pizza pie pan points towards the outside of the pan or the bottom of the pan, as opposed to the pie pan where we bent them to the inside of the pan. But you see, we're going to line them up here and we're going to bend them back together and then we're going to hammer them flat. Now, as you can see, then we insert the stake into the underside of the pan. The pie pan is going to become the footed pedestal of this tray. So as you can imagine, that's the bottom. And then we're going to use the crazy glue to glue the plastic stake to the inside of the first pipe. And then we're going to repeat the same for the cake pan on the top. Here I realized that the little stub of the spike is actually preventing the pie pan from laying flat, so I'm just going to hack it off with the hacksaw. Probably could have done this first. And then I'm going to find level. I'm trying to make them as even as possible and perpendicular as possible, and using packing tape to secure them in place overnight. Now we're going to create the holes for the handle. I found out that sticking the red long screwdriver in the middle of the tube actually helps support it while we hammer holes on both sides. Then we're taking the long Phillips head screwdriver to do so because it is much thinner than the small one. Then you're going to remove it and we're going to insert one of the binder rings. I found it much easier after trial and error to insert the binder ring through both holes and then to clasp it outside of the pipe, but then after I've glued it and it's dried, I will then insert it back into the center of the pipe. So you just put a drop of glue on the seam and let this dry overnight as well. And now I'm going to attach it to the tray by the same method, by running crazy glue down the spike and squeezing it on and then just putting it aside and letting it dry overnight. Day 2, we're going to test its sureness and paint it to give it that faux finished galvanized look. Here I'm carefully removing the tape as to not break any of my glue seams. And then I realized I probably should have sanded it before I put it all together. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to a note in the comments. And then you're just going to sand all the surfaces you want to paint. I went in a circular motion with the shape of the pan here. It's also where I got off the extra glue from the tag. Well, not from the tag, from the paper. And then you just want to sand all the surfaces that you're going to paint. You don't have to worry about doing the 2 uprights. We're not going to paint them. They're already finished for us. And the reason you want to sand it ahead of time is because then I went ahead and snapped the neck off. So I've just added some of the fix all adhesive, and I guess we're going to have to wait one more day. Well, it's okay. One more day, we're going to be painting anyway. Now just take a damp paper towel and wipe off all of the residue from the sanding, and then just let it dry or dry it, and then we're going to go ahead and get to painting. What we're going to use today is just paper towels. We're going to use one wet and one dry. One dry paper towel to apply the paint. This is the paint from the Dollar Tree. And then one wet paper towel to create the modeling look of aged galvanized aluminum. The real trick with this faux finish is to go ahead and move your paper towel around, and don't forget to wrap your paper towel in different directions and turn your hand. This way you don't end up creating a pattern. Just keep it on the move and you should be okay. Take off where you think it's too much and add where you think it's not enough. And here I want to point out, don't forget to paint the underside of the pan, because when you go to use this, you want to make sure it at least looks finished. It'll look finished if you paint the underside of the pan. And you don't have to worry about the modeling on the underside of the pan because it's not going to be so visible, but I feel like if you don't paint it at all, it will be more noticeable. And we're going to also paint the base. Again, you don't have to do the underside of the base, but if you just, paint there you go. And then don't forget to model it. And I hope you found this tutorial easy. Here's what the finished product looks like. I have it next to my coffee bar holding cups and stuff, but you can decorate it any way you want. As always, you leave any questions in the comments down below. Take care and God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!